Welcome! You may have forgotten calculus over the summer, and that is okay. We are here to help. This video will be a simple tool to jog your memory of how calculus works. We'll start off with simple derivatives. We'll start off with the function x squared. The derivative of x squared is 2x. Hey! As you may remember, this is an example of the power rule, which, written generally, is x to the n equals n times x to the n minus 1. Brilliant! So now we'll move on to a slightly more difficult function. The derivative of e to the x is simply e to the x, so it wasn't really that difficult at all. However, if you have a constant in front of the x, this becomes the derivative of e to the cx. E to the cx. Alright, so now everyone loves trig, right? So the derivative of the wonderful sine function, so the derivative of sine of x, is the other trig function. Well, the other one that everyone likes is cosine of x. And then similarly, the derivative of cosine of x is negative sine of x. You gotta remember the negative. It makes a difference.
This is because of the phase of the function.
Alright, and so now if you have sine of, say, 2x as your function, this works using the chain rule. So the derivative of sine of 2x is 2 times sine of 2x. So you have to take the derivative of what's inside the parentheses and multiply that out front. And that would work the same way with cosine. Except remember the negative, so it's negative 2. Ah, yes, good catch, Anders. There it is. So yes, now we'll write out what the general chain rule is. So, you have a function f and a function g. The derivative of f of g of x is the derivative of f of g times the derivative of g, written that way. Some of you may have seen it using fog notation, where it's f o g equals f prime of g times g prime. So if we use it with an example of a function, keeping it real simple, f of x equals x plus 1, and g of x equals 3x squared plus 4. So to take the derivative of f of g of x, we first need to find what f of g of x is. So to find that, you simply substitute the entirety of g of x into f of x wherever x occurs. So this becomes 3x squared plus 4 plus 1, or 3x squared plus 5. Now we take the derivative of that to get the derivative of f of g of x. And that would be 6x. So now we need to multiply by the derivative of g of x. So the derivative of g of x is 6x. So 6x times 6x is 36x squared, and that is the derivative of f of g of x. There it is. Another rule that you may encounter during your travels through linearity is the product rule, written generally as the derivative of f times g is f times the derivative of g plus the derivative of f times g. So using the same functions from before, you would take f as a function, so x plus 1, times the derivative of g, which is 6x. And then you would add the derivative of f, which is just 1 in this case, times g, which is 3x squared plus 4. When you distribute the first two, you get 6x squared plus 6x. And simplify the second half, you get plus 3x squared plus 4. Combining like terms, you get 9x squared plus 6x plus 4. And that is the derivative